Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 26 of this series where I am making a Hotline Miami style samurai game featuring a lo-fi aesthetic and taking inspiration from retro anime classics like Samurai Champloo. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on with the game this week. Our artist Amanda is back in action this week with two new animations, a running animation and a dashing animation. I want to have two different sets of animations, one for when you're in combat and one for when you're out of combat. Like when you've completed the level and you're just running through all the brutality you left behind, so all of the animations you're seeing so far are for the out of combat set, and we'll be getting into the combat ones next. On the gameplay side, we've got two new levels. The first is intended to be the last level of the game's first act, and it features all of the enemy types and item types that I've shown up until now, the kamikaze guys, the archers, and the dashers. And for the items, the projectile item, the smoke bomb, and the flashbang/stun grenade type item. The other new level is the first level of the game's second act. You'll see in the bottom left corner you now have two energy counters, and to force you to make use of this newfound energy, you're going up against a new enemy type that will always parry your first strike, so you have to either stun them first or attack them twice in quick succession to take them out. So this week I was thinking a little bit about why I'm always laughing at everything. See, I'm incapable of taking almost anything seriously, even in inappropriate situations. I don't know how to react in any way other than to laugh. For example, there was this one time when a friend of mine came to me and told me how a friend of hers was addicted to heroin, and I responded by laughing. Now obviously it's not funny that her friend is addicted to heroin, I say with a smile on my face. But for real, it's not funny that her friend is addicted to heroin. I think in a situation like that, it's probably a defense mechanism. Sometimes you just look at the horrors of the world and you can't help but laugh. But other times, I don't think it's just a defense mechanism. Other times, I think I'm just able to find the humor in almost any situation. Okay, like recently, this girl was telling me a story about how Komodo dragons are really brutal in the way that they eat other animals. And she was telling me about this video where a Komodo dragon eats open some deer's pregnant belly and then eats its baby alive immediately after this. And that's just, see what I mean? I'm laughing right now. And as she's going into detail about this, I start laughing and she comments yeah, you're always laughing at disturbing things like this. But in a situation like this, I'm not laughing at a Komodo dragon doing fucked up things. I'm laughing at the fact that she's going into excruciating, explicit detail in telling me about this video. Why is that necessary? You know, you could just be like, Komodo dragons are fucked up. Why are you telling me about how, yeah, then it ripped open the stomach, then it starts eating this baby deer alive? I don't know, I find that situation absurd and funny. And I think that's just how I look at a lot of things. And when I was thinking about this, I eventually started thinking about a book I read a while ago that I highly recommend. It's called Shogun, and it takes place in medieval Japan, and it's when the Europeans first came over to Japan and interacted with their culture for the first time. And so a lot of the book revolves around kind of the culture shock that this Englishman experiences. And one of the things that happens is they have this massive battle where he fights on the side of an army that ultimately wins the battle, but they lose 500 guys in a really brutal showdown. And as the enemy is fleeing, the generals that he fought with are cheering, and they're actually laughing about the situation. And he's kind of in shock about this because, yeah, sure, they won, but he's like, how can you be laughing about 500 of your men just getting slaughtered over some stupid battle? And one of the generals responded to the Englishman by saying, is there any time that we are closer to the gods than when we are laughing? So anyway, the point of this story is to just say that I am as badass as a medieval Japanese general. One other thing I wanted to talk about, there's a trend among indie game developers to tell you a lot about their personal lives as usually some kind of part of their marketing campaign to kind of inspire you to buy their game or whatever. Now, I've always disliked that a little bit because I feel like I want people to play my game because I made a good game and not because they feel sorry for me or whatever. But hey, marketing is marketing and you gotta make money. So I now want to present you guys with my list of not related to my game reasons, but related to my personal life reasons of why you should buy my game. Number 1, I quit my job to do this. Number 2, I'm investing my personal life savings into this project. Number 3, I have a borderline delusional belief that I am destined to become the greatest video game developer of all time. Therefore, if my games are not successful and you don't buy them, I might have a mental breakdown, and you will be personally responsible for that. And number 4, because I have a borderline delusional belief that I am destined to become the greatest game developer of all time, I'm going to continue making games no matter what happens. So if you don't buy this game, I'm just going to have less money for the next one. I'm still going to keep making games, they're just going to be shittier. So just as a quick reminder, if you don't buy my Samurai game when it comes out, you will be responsible for me having a mental breakdown, and you'll be responsible for my future games being shittier. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more updates on my Samurai game. If you want to support me, check out my first game. It's available for free. Link is in the description below, and maybe leave me a review for it. And I guess I'll see you guys here next week. Peace.